Will the desert heat up and we'll have action from start to finish? We've seen both, Dave. We've seen both.
Well, earlier on Miramar, in the east side of things, when we're looking at PUBG Mobile World Invitational, end zone, final circle, 2 buildings, opposite ends of each other, and a road right between them. That was it. That was the final ending. We had a squad in one building and another team in the opposite building, and they needed to fight it out on that road right between them. So it was pretty exciting to witness that firsthand. But this one, let's get into it. We've been having some spicy circles yesterday. We've been having some fun ones here today. This Miramar, we only got today Miramar, tomorrow Miramar. If you had to be like the RTG guy and be like, place that circle, where are you going to place that circle here this game? Paul, where would you want to see it?
I'm going with dead center. I think we're going to have a dead center circle.
Oh, no, final zone.
Final zone.
Yeah. Where would you want it? Like, you're like the coach for RTG, and you're like, okay, it's going to end here, because that's obviously what they do. What
I think a Los Leones finish actually wouldn't be too awful for them, because of where they drop, they'd be in a pretty good spot. Okay. So yeah, that's still potential there, because they do well in these city fights. They traditionally do well in these close range urban combat finishes. RTG has done a fantastic job of being able, again, I always call them the team. They find order from chaos, and what's more chaotic than a city finish?
If I'm RTG's coach and I'm making my prediction, I'm going to say those 2 islands out there on the east, because why not? You know, just why? We've seen it before.
Don't 19E it and take forever out there and then come in way too late and get 0 damage. Just don't do that. Just don't do that.
Don't go on a sightseeing mission. Yeah, okay. I appreciate it. Not now.
Plant the umbrella down, maybe get a tiki drink, smaller umbrella, chilling.
Ooh, this is risky.
Gooder.
I don't know if that vehicle is worth that much. And yeah, they're going to be paying the price.
Not ideal. Oh, and Next Rate Gaming did so well last game. That to me is just like the definition of a battle royale. One game, you're flying high, got all your players alive, getting a chicken dinner, rocking 25 points. The next one, it's like, yes, hello, we are 3. We are 3 players.
Well, that's Miramar. You know, a lot of these teams early game, they kind of prioritize picking up these vehicles, and it's for a good cause, because the map is so huge. Yeah, it's so big that there's a lot of terrain to traverse, and obviously the more cars you have, the less chance of your squad getting taken out on rotation in a car. And we saw it yesterday. Yesterday, I believe I remember making a comment. It was like mid-game. We had a hard shift, and there was like 10 teams. Each of the members on those 10 teams, they all had vehicles. They all started making that move, and it was just like a wave, an ocean of just cars moving. So, you know, I definitely respect it, and I understand it. And some teams in particular that are going to need to make sure to get those vehicles, guns out there to the west. You got Coney to Power out there to the west, and even Team Queso. So a lot of teams playing this early game west side, they're going to have a challenge, right? Making it into this circle number 1. Considering the whole east side of the zone, there's still nobody occupying it. Like, nobody. Except for RTG, of course.
Of course. RTG opted instead. They're going to go on the coast. They're still going to play on the outside. They know where the other teams are dropping. They know where that plane path was. Puerto Paradiso is wide open right now. That's where they're going to go down. They're going to play this on the outside, still very much in their style, but not so much that they're going to be face tanking the blue for 7 minutes. So I like this call from them. If the circle does rotate up towards Impala, this mountainous terrain south of Impala is some of my favorite to watch, because it's so dynamic. Players have so many opportunities to hide, to dip, dodge, and dive in and around this cover, and it makes for some really exciting gameplay. So if we do get a southern shift to the circle, I mean, anywhere along this mountain range, we're going to be in for some great games, Dave. So no matter what, I'm already happy.
Yeah, and the chances are definitely pretty high as we get a nice little aerial view in the helicopter RTG out here on the coast, looking for some of this nice, sweet loot for free, considering nobody's even near them for the time being. Onyx already on the move here, just a little bit, all popping in their vehicles, looking to reposition possibly into a more centralized spot, as I do see Destiny Beast already pretty dead center right here, claiming a spot for their squad. I'm looking around, trying to find some spiciness. Yes, 19E, early rotate as well. They might run into Destiny, might receive some shots from Destiny. Gotta watch out for them tires, make sure those bad boys don't get popped. But besides that, might be just a good old-fashioned early Miramar game.
Yeah, and again, I wondered what kind of match we were going to have. Oh, all right. Little seeing the driving skills here on full display. Like you're saying, Dave, got to keep those tires well and intact. Parking is very important to make sure that you can escape at a moment's notice. 19E, nice and dead center here as well. Minas Generales, keeping an eye on that. The squads are taking their time. That's the pro and con of Miramar here. It is our biggest map, bar none, by a large margin, which means teams have a long time to loot in this early game, feeling very comfortable. Gives them a little more options when it comes to deciding when they want to take these fights, which is quite nice because there's more ground to work with, a chance of you just running into a team. Smaller, not zero, but certainly smaller.
Yeah, the percentage is definitely low. And El Pozo percentage 50-50. You know, we saw two squads there looting on another kind of high percentage chance of an early fight, I guess you could say. Team Queso opted to pop into some vehicles and looking to use that main road down there towards the south. But as we listed, Konita Power going to be down there. Rod's going to be down there. So Team Queso, they're really going to need to thread that needle and make sure not to get spotted on their rotate, especially with the blue zone now starting to close in, collapse in, taking a fight out there this early. And just as I say it, look at the kill feed.
Yep, there it is. Konita Power, Team Queso. Oh boy, these teams have some history. Be excited to see what these teams can do up against one another. Team Queso, though, not really crashing at this point. They're more on the defensive right now, which could work out well for them, except for the team shooting of Konita Power's a little bit better. The double peak, Dave, cannot be denied. Absolutely huge. There's no way you lose that. Enough damage has been done, though, that Rima trying to take this as a series of 1v1s, confirming the point before they go down. Beautiful play as we're playing Ring Around the Rosie here. Which one can get the shot? That's the question. Dave, it all comes down to this. The final last stand, and no. Konita Power loses one, but gets it back.
Yeah, three members of Konita Power all just, crossfire in that doorway. I don't think you're going to make it on out alive, but you can kind of see the mentality shift from Team Queso. They get into these fights, but instead of, trying to make sure to take all the enemies, get that squad wipe, if they get a knock, they're going to make sure to get that flush, get that point underneath their belt, because 14th position overall. They got 1 point. Now,
oh, no.
They tried to go up the hill with the good old-fashioned coupe, and that bad boy doesn't have enough horsepower for that.
No, it does not. I think they were expecting the gun out of there, Fast and the Furious. Instead, it was slow and dead.
Slow and furious.
Yeah. Well,
slow and dangerous.
Yeah,
it was furious. It was furious if you're in the car getting shot at, all right? That's like, it's like, are you pressing the gas? Yeah, I'm pressing the gas. The gas is pressed. Pressed. That's pressed. Yeah.
Power's team shooting, though, is really good. Like, both in the early parts of that fight as well, like, you can tell their comms are super, super clean, because that kind of communication stems from having very clear, concise lines of communication, and just really, really solid. But as I say that, this has taken them a long time. Luckily, it's only the first circle, so not a big deal here. They are going to have time to continue to loot up, make their way in. They'll take some damage, but not the end of the world, as we are seeing the center up on Impala, Dave. Oh boy, and this mountainous finish that I hoped for every time I see Miramar, it could happen.
Two Islands still in play, by the way. Just throwing it out there. Technically, I'm not wrong yet. Konita Power, though, they average 11.2 points per game. They have a total of 64 kills. They're going to be right behind X-Rio with 66 kills. So very aggressive squad here in this lobby. Looking at Alpha 7, 61 kills. So their third most kills in the entirety of the lobby, as we see them making the pull-up onto Loca Nostra. Currently 13th place on the overall leaderboard. You have to assume they heard this vehicle pull up. And of course, Daddy over here. Play that off angle. Looks like they're going to have some room to work with. They need to make sure Danny doesn't get pushed for free. Yep, Daddy is going to be spotting that one out. They see that there's someone over here.
Ooh, Carrillo, those flick shots, trading back and forth though. Nice reaction time from both squads. Danny will take this off angle, popping out together. Oh, the last player from Alpha 7. A lot of missed shots from Danny, though. Can't be missing that at this stage in the game. INVITATIONAL given a gift of a life here. Gonna look to put it right back around. And Danny pays for it. Mafios comes in. Constant trades back and forth. Which team will come out on top? INVITATIONAL. Those missed shots from Danny, Dave, could literally be the end of this entire team.
And I know a lot of people, they was like, oh, you got the high ground always wins. Well, in this case, we saw a prime example, like right when they peeked over, oh, M249, of course. Loca Nostra, when they're trying to crest over the hill, what's going to show first? Their heads, right? Their heads show first. So it's like an instant headshot right there from Alpha 7 looking uphill over there. And, well, Loca Nostra, I guess, tried to do this. If I was them, I would just pop in a vehicle and just go for placement points. And, yeah, that's what they're doing.
They were able to destroy that truck, at least. Yeah. That was a little something. That's what that spray was there at the end.
Take that.
It's 9. Oh my goodness. Yikes. Those shots. Back absolutely clean. Coming in from Ghost. We're seeing Onyx pinched between a couple of different squads here. Chivas, Destiny, all looking to get involved. Team Case of the first team eliminated. And Loca Nostra, that UK squad, they just haven't had a lot of luck some of these games, Dave. And how much of it's luck and how much of it's their decision making? Not 100% sure. They could have, I think, taken that fight against Alpha 7, but you're expecting, if it's a 1-to-1 and you're expecting everyone to win the fights they're supposed to win, when a player on the other team just pops off and you don't, that swing was destructive. I mean, I don't think Alpha 7 lost a single player.
No, they're still looking pretty good. Looking mighty fine. As we're looking at the player rankings over here, Nomi. We were told coming into this event, yeah, super strong player. One of those star highlight players. Definitely keep your eye on. Up there at the top, but not from the kills, but from the damage. Look at that, almost 5K damage coming on out from Nomi.
And think about the math on that. We haven't even played 15 games. I'm putting up almost 500 damage. Do that math. And then come back, scratching your head going, how does he do it? Absolutely terrifying. As the circle continues to center up here, most teams predicted this. We knew it would go away from the water at this stage. It's going to need a power, and Guns are getting involved. Guns able to trade back. Rove, nice shots there. Not to Fashe, but they're out in the blue, Dave. This is the kind of fight that teams, they hate to take, but they have to. It's that game of chicken. Who wants to go first? No one wants to get shot in the back, but at the same time, the blue is just constantly away. Your meds, your stims, it all goes downhill. And once again, Konina Power is a duo. I can't say I'm surprised.
Oh, it's in Los Leones, like the biggest city here in the game. It's just unlucky that they happen to pass each other in that city on their approach into that next zone, because we did see that next circle shift. A lot of teams were already centered up from the previous circle over there in Impala, those hills that you were kind of looking at. So 15 teams right now. That's still a lot of teams alive. 13 minutes into this game. Chivas still 4 up. They got this little compound for the time being. A little split going on. A little 2-2 split. What do they do with their current position? As everybody else is just trying to find somewhere that's safe and sound for the time being. A lot of hills, a lot of different levels of terrain here on Miramar. So we're starting to kind of see that come into play.
Elevation will constantly be a factor. Again, TPP, it offers you a lot, but then of course, as you said, when you do pop your head up, that's what's exposed. Squad from Mexico, behind that squad from Egypt, that 3 years together for that kind of communication will be super useful here as they're going in. But Chivas not taking the shots, Dave. I wonder if this is a bit of a bait.
Got Jacup in the dump truck right there. Talking about cover. They're letting Rahad kind of push up here. False sense of security. There goes the first shot. Yeah, there goes the first knock from Fran.
I like that play from Chivas. They let them get just that little bit closer, luring them in, that false sense of security. And then that trap just shuts. Just like this, Rod now has to rethink this reposition, go for the revive, but Chivas is pushing in at the same time. I love this play from them. They're dead center on the circle right now, Dave. They know they don't have a ton of time to take this, so if they're going to, they need to do it well. The 2-2 split from Chivas. They need to make the call. At this point, they've taken too long. They know the revive has probably gotten off, so they're going to chill just a moment.
Yeah, if they were going to push out, like that was their moment to just full-blown commit. Well, they did pull back just a little bit, and
Ishta drops. Okay, now they've got to go. They've got to go. They've got this down again. Both players are down. On the outside, I believe Daisha dropped. I don't know if they got the revive onto Delhop. I don't know if they did. Fran, that off angle, has been able to do so much work. But as you can see in the circle, Dave, they are like dead center right now. There are going to be squads coming into third party this if they're not careful. It's a very good chance they're still in this next circle. And they're not, which means they've really got to move.
Got 19E all the way up there by themselves. Konina Power, guns, once again, clashing it out there. Just can't catch a break this game. See Freak, we see Hamudi trying to toss out some grenades, trying to open this one up. It is going to be a 3v2. Lord, Molly in the doorway. He got 4 members of guns hot on the case. Yeah, I don't know where you're running. They're going to catch up here very shortly.
They are indeed. Gonzo's just trying to create a situation where he can take a series of 1v1s and not a 1v3, as they are completely splitting right now. I think the thought process here with this running is that somebody's going to live. Somebody's going to survive. And as you can see, the third party we were talking about, now it's coming in on Dorad, who did decide they wanted to relocate as 2, running into Alpha 7. Destiny now fighting Chivas. The game is not slowing down, Dave. It's pedal to the metal. We've made it to the late game with 14 teams and 50 players still left alive. Free Fire's around the corner as Clash is feeling the wrath of Brazil, who are pushing in like a hurricane into this building. Dave, they will not stop.
Yeah, we're heading towards Impala. Sent a text to UMP in hand. They're looking like they're moving together as a unit. They got each other's backs, multiple angles. One gets knocked down, not a problem. You got three members, right? 3 enemies pretty much knocking at your doorstep. With UMPs, Alpha 7, there's no stopping them. And now they get a nice position. They have different elevations on those 3 stories, maybe even 4 stories of this compound, and we see it. It's paying off. They're taking shots on the Shivas, who thought they were safe in those water towers.
Shivas chasing down the fight they started earlier, running into all of Alpha 7. Not optimal for them, but Destiny looking to get involved here. We've seen them on the kill feed, but no actual kill points, which is unfortunate for them. They haven't actually been able to convert this. Ra'ad able to stabilize, getting Munir up. Munir, of course, that star player from our Sandhawk map, that absolute clutch play. We'll check back in with them as Destiny out of the frying pan into the fire. 2 members down for them, running into Onyx, who have been able to stabilize here, Dave. Beautiful play from them. What a turnaround from that day number 1, but they need to be able to convert as they lose 1. Swave is still up and in this. Asafera, what can they do? They can win.
Got him. Defending what I like to call the hot dog building, because it's in the shape of a hot dog, of course. And popping on over to another building, 19E. They are going to be pushing out. They had the North all to themselves just a couple moments ago. Other teams looking to play it safe up here. Looks like Acer was tagged and bagged. Sam trying to cook these grenades, trying to get a knock over here from on their boulder. First one doesn't really connect. Second one, second one definitely doesn't connect because Frozen got the return nade onto Sam.
That's like playing with portals. He throws that nade out and it felt like it came right on back. Accidental boomerang, but instead it was just Frozen, perfectly primed, perfectly cooked, delivered with care. But we're seeing G-Fan and Xenox, though, trying to support from cover, but they're very split. This new duo, veteran, young gun, young star, together as a team, but they're the last one standing. They've got the work cut out for them. At least they have the circle. But Dave, for how long?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's somewhat of a standoff up there as no one's near them. Did you see that just a second ago? Pocus. Oh! Second attempt right there. Second attempt. Tried getting the run over a couple moments ago. Missed it. Was able to connect down to what? Imagine right now being Konina Power and you got some dude just driving donuts around you. Like, what are you going to do? And we're seeing what they're going to do. Gonzo hitting the dirt right there. Trying to get the return fire. Was able to do so. Polka's going for those risky, aggressive plays. Might pay the price of their life right there.
I mean, I appreciate the style, but Konina Power is not to be trifled with. Gonzo just putting him away, playing that out so well. He's like, are you disrespecting me right now? And Pocus is like, maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe. Because I understand it. He got that 1v3 pull-up yesterday. I could feel the confidence oozing through the screen, but maybe this time, Dave, maybe this time, it would have been better to play it just a little bit safe, because now UDR Killers has to rethink, reset with only 3 players up, and soon it may just be 1 or none.
Yeah, look at this, just casually rolling in. against this Ghost versus Guns fight on the tail end of this one. Alpha 7, remember, they're in that building. They're going to be taking some shots. And across the way, Onyx able to get the final blow. We had like 2 teams right there. They're both gone.
Unison.
They both just got wiped out.
Guns, UDR killers rolled up on one another. Both were exposed on the side of a hill, and everybody just opened fire, pressing that go button. As we're seeing Alpha 7, the work they did earlier to take over this compound has paid off so well. Chivas are stuck out there, and they've got nowhere to go as time is ticking away. Onyx looking to be a little bit of a distraction as the firing line comes in, able to make it. Chivas given an opportunity there to try and make something happen, Dave, but Alpha 7 is unpunished.
Yeah, this position right here, this is like gatekeep heaven for Alpha 7. They're looking at these 2 teams down here towards the south. They do have this little lip to work with on the road, but it doesn't even matter. Jacup in the tail end, M4 trying to close the gap, trying to provide that support to their squad mates, but they have a very limited amount of room to work with without overextended. Look at that. Yeah, Alpha 7 on the top. Master's popping off with the M2.
What?
They got it. Onyx coming out. Onyx.
Did Master just 1v4? I don't know how much cover his teammate was giving him there, but it literally looked like Master just, 2 and 1 and 1, but just killed all 4 of them. I'm going to need to see a replay on that. Oh my goodness. Yes, it was. Look at that in the kill feed, Dave. That was Master getting all of them done by himself. Yes, Onyx goes down, but my goodness, did they get some points before they did. Chivas feeling that desperation, running in like lemmings, but it was more like lambs to the slaughter. Wow, what a big play there from Onyx.
Master 4 kills, 9, 3 kills that game. Onyx are just racking up those kill points here today. And of course, late game, RTG, 5 kills, 4 up.
I can't expect anything less at this point. I was gonna say something witty and profound, but yeah. At this point, like, it can't be an accident. We were talking to Seven during the break. He's like, oh man, I feel like they're getting lucky. I'm like, nah, it's happening way too much for them to be getting lucky. Whatever they're doing right now, whatever thought process they have going to the circles, if you're a team looking to get better at PUBG Mobile, compete on this kind of world stage, watch RTG's rotations. Because yes, they're hitting their shots, but they're putting themselves in positions to do that work, as Frozen is unfortunately experiencing.
Experiencing the mini from El Chapo out here. Oh, just barely. Yeah, oh,
okay, Curio.
Okay. Well, okay, that happened.
Wait, G-Fan and Xenox, they lived. Huh.
It's going to be tough, though, for them to reposition, especially with all these eyes looking in this direction.
G-Fan's gone down. It's all down to Xenox, that young gun. The young blood, Nextria Gaming, the last one up and alive, but all eyes on me. And that's going to be the blue, taking them down. 19E is out. Nextria Gaming, probably not long to follow. Alpha 7, they took over this compound, Dave. They fought Clash for it. They exterminated them from the building. And just like that, it's been paying off so well for them here. Absolutely insane, but they're still going to have to deal with RTG, who've got all 4 up as well.
Exactly. Those sightlines from Alpha, we saw it come into effect a couple moments ago when they were gatekeeping those teams down there towards the south. Now we're seeing it on the open terrain across that northwest. They got 9 kills right now. They got 9 kills, and they're not done yet.
Great.
Godsent on the opposite end of that lip. They need to be cautious not to peek over. Their position already compromised. We see those mollies getting tossed out there. It's really going to come down to, will this next circle still favor the Alpha 7 compound? If it does, it's going to be a GG for Alpha. That compound's so strong right now.
Yeah, nothing you can do about that. Also, you see that troll care package, that crate on top of the RV? That's just mean. That's just mean. And I also feel like this next circle, yeah, this is going to be the game decider. Who does it favor? Does RTG get it again, or does it go to Alpha 7, Dave? This is the decider right here, right now. Where are we going to go?
Let's see. It pops. Okay. This is big for Godsent because that road, it has a dip that they could just play that one. But yeah, Marshall already repositioning. Godsent needs to take out Marshall now.
He's all by his lonesome right here. He's setting up the foundation, the groundwork for rotation for the rest of RTG. We'll see how many smokes they have. That's going to be the big decider for me as Marshall takes a ton of work, but does more in return as Nuggets drops, getting blown to bits himself as Train not finding the angle here. Great repositioning from Marshall to be able to dodge those back. Can he find another one, though, as Alpha 7 is trying to do the exact same thing, lay down the smoke tunnel to try and move the rest of the team in. RTG need to take advantage of the chaos that's being created by Marshall here. The shot caller from the squad using the smokes as a barometer to lay that one down. And Godsend getting chunked, and Alpha 7 will finish it up. It all comes down to this. Who can rotate quicker? Dave. Alpha 7 seem to be in a prime spot.
They got the smokes. Marshall able to take this position a couple moments ago with the Scar, trying to get the exchanges going, and then the help from behind. Okay, we see the help. 1 down for Alpha, 2 down for Alpha. They do have the smokes, but everybody's taking shots at them.
Still here too.
Yeah,
Dave Sadat is still
moving.
in play. Still in play. He's taking pot shots at RTG, at Alpha 7, and everyone that's moving. But RTG looked to be in a great spot. Alpha 7, I thought they were going to have this prime position, but there's not enough cover there. And Carry Boy now coming in. Oh my goodness, Marshall, that early rotation, Dave. Their play calls have been perfection, and relentless is the AK. Continue to pushing them on down, and just like that, Alpha 7's eliminated. RTG looking like they're going to get the chicken dinner they were denied in game number 3.
RTG, Marshall, the instant call to get into the buggy, send it across that street instead of, taking a couple moments to kind of feel it out. Wow, paid off big time. They were able to put a stop to the Alpha 7 push across the road, and now they're in the dominant position, 3v1. This is looking like another RTG win.
That would have to go absolutely huge. And I think they do have the circle. They may have to move just a smidge. They will. It's out in the middle of no man's land, which means it's going to favor RTG. They can lay off their meds on one person, let them heal. They've got the dip from the road. If I'm Sadat, I think at this point, I just deny it. I just deny that 1 point. At this point where Odd has 0 kills to their name, it's not worth trying to make it happen, but RTG isn't going to let that happen. They're just going to push in. Tommy gun in hand, gets a single down, but it does not matter.